Alright, it's time for Snow Talking. Yeah, I'm going to keep the title on here for a bit longer because we have some snow in the forecast, but we may have to still deal with this kind of a pattern next week. I'll explain in a second. First off, don't forget, freeze warning still in effect with you Thursday morning. Long form here of a freeze warning. 28 here in town, 21 in Seymour. Whew, if we don't get much sun today, it is going to be a struggle to get above freezing in our northern counties. The sun's going to be key on that. At the moment, it's cloudy. Got those flurries showing up. In fact, flurries breaking out in Jefferson County all the way into Hardin and Bullitt. Picking up some brief flurries, nothing big to worry about, but some flakes flying through the air. Now, notice, first off, there's a lot to look at here on this map. But there is some sun breaking out into Indianapolis, where they're in the teens, by the way. We'll see how much of that clearing can work its way down. I got a feeling the low clouds are going to get trapped here. But that will really determine how warm we're going to get today with that north wind fighting us. Obviously, here's the big storm in the northeast where they're having to adjust the forecast a bit. That rain snow line's moving a bit more to the west than what the forecast was there. See, even up there, meteorologists are stressed out. And then we've got our next system here for Thursday into Friday. But in between the two, the pressure gradient is working together to create a north flow right into the Ohio Valley. And that is an interesting setup because the Great Lakes are not frozen over because it's been relatively warm. So you get cold air going over the warm body of water that large, you get lake effect snowfall. And it will take a path in the direction of the wind. Right now, they got a northeast wind. And look how far that fetch of snow is going. All the way to St. Louis. It's crazy. Now, as this low pressure, this big nor'easter, moves away as the afternoon continues, then that will change the wind direction from the northeast there. It'll turn, and it'll keep turning, and it'll keep turning. As that turn happens, then we will have the snow moisture train aiming toward our area. Now, once you get further away from the lake, it gets harder to get much out of it, more than just a snow shower or two, and then you get more in an accumulating squally kind of event the closer you are to the lake itself, where the moisture source is. But still, even these little streaks can put down a little bit of a dusting, but it's not going to hit everybody. Only just a few spots will see it. The high-res NAM showing that later on this afternoon, this evening. And I love how it shows the streaks as the wind turns later on. Kind of cool. Now, I don't know if it's going to be exactly where it's pinpointed here, but it is kind of cool to see that that's the case. I mean, this is one of those deals where, say you have a snow band that stretches through the eastern part of Jefferson County, so St. Matthews to Fern Creek could get a half inch, maybe up to an inch of snow. That's possible. If the band doesn't move very long, you can get that much. And then downtown and the airport, even Highview in Oklahoma, nothing. So that's why you can't really put a snow map on this and forecast. You can just say that if you get one of these snow squalls, watch out for poor visibility. You may get a quick accumulation. The roads may get slick, and then once you drive 5 miles from where you are, you'll be out of it. And that's kind of what we're dealing with. Not a big deal. Just kind of be aware of this later on today and tonight, and we'll be keeping you updated. Then we get into Thursday night and Friday, and here's a tricky setup here because we got a system moving in, southwest flow kicks in, moisture's being thrown at us. Now, here's the problem. Cold air is it's heavy, it's dense, it is slow to move. We run into this problem every time. The models are always aggressive with warm air, and sometimes they can overdo it. And we have to, as meteorologists, that's why it's a good thing we have people still watching this stuff, not computer models running the forecast, because the models are going with rain. While that is possible, we have to be cautious, especially in our area, because we have so many different valleys, that the cold layer that's in place today, tomorrow, and Thursday will still be around early on Friday morning. Now, eventually the southwest warm wind is going to move that cold air out. But it's that window when they overlap. Very late Thursday night, near the rush hour period Friday morning. The NAM model has this at 35, and the freezing line up closer to, say, Cincinnati. So yes, it would be a rain event. 850 temperatures up above. The rain snow line is right here where this blue is, darker blue. Now, that would indicate rain is pretty much what the model will show, to show the green over us. Now, the 850s may warm. It is easier to push the cold air aloft out of the way than it is at the ground level. It's much harder to shove it out of the lower layers of the atmosphere where we are. So, yes, the warmer layer or the cold layer aloft may get shoved out of the way, but the cold layer of the ground may get stuck behind it. So that would mean rain would fall, and depending on how much cold layer we have at the ground level, it could be freezing rain briefly or perhaps even some sleet, and then we'll go quickly to all rain. So it's not going to be a long-term event here, only a short-term issue if it even happens at all. but it's the timing of it. If it's near the rush hour, even an hour of freezing rain is not going to be good news. So we'll watch this carefully. Stay tuned for updates. We got plenty of time to watch that. Then as with the next week, interesting setup. The weekend looks quiet, by the way. The next week, though, we've got this digging of a trough into Canada. We've got warm air and several areas of low pressure moving across the southern part of the country. And look how tight these pressure lines are, these heights. That usually tells us a lot of lift is going on. A lot of precipitation is going to break out. A lot of energy happens when you see that compacting going on. And with cold air around, it's going to be a battle of the rain-snow line. I love that. Here's the latest look at the GFS. Here's the Euro. Here's the Canadian. Notice this is Monday. We're on the warmer side of things. They all agree we're going to be warm on Monday. So 60s look likely, and rain, maybe some thunder. Then we get into that smashing, that compacting, as we into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Episode about a week from today. And GFS has got the rain-snow line right along the Ohio River, which is almost laughable. Not that it wouldn't happen, it's just that it always figures the case. But notice the Euro has it more toward Indianapolis. Now the ensembles in general, GFS is colder and the Euro is back to the north and northern areas of Indiana. So at the moment, GFS is the one that is screaming on the idea that the battle zone of rain and snow or wintry weather is going to be a lot closer to wave country than the other models. Other models say it's going to be much more to the north, will be the warmer side of things. When you look at the Euro ensembles, though, for snowfall potential, most of them agree with that, especially this one. A lot of heavy snow to the north. But there are a few that go way south with it. Right across southern Kentucky, which is wild to see. Some right through us. Some way to the north. So the models are still struggling on where to put that rain-snow line next week. That's not surprising. It's a week out. Look what happened last week when we had that snow chance. How it shifted from northern Ohio to Nashville. That's a huge change in the model, and that was about a 3-day period. But anyway, but here's the problem. Even if we're on the warmer side of things, and it may not be warm, it may be 40s, it could be heavy rain, and we got to watch for a flooding potential. So it's not good news either way for next week. Either we're going to have to deal with wintry weather, or we're going to have to deal with a cold, heavy rain event and possible flooding. Personally, I would take the snow if it's going to be that cold. I hate cold rain. But just know that the battle zone line is not able to be figured out yet. At the moment, we're going to keep it north of wave country, and let's just take it one day at a time, guys. But between now and then, I need to take a nap. I'm tired today. Aren't y'all tired? I'm tired.